I still remember the first time I came across the punishment of forced ingestion in an old history book, Johann Huizinga's The Waning of the Middle Ages. It wasn't the main subject, just a brief mention in passing, but it stopped me cold. People are being made to swallow filth, human waste, soap, or whatever revolting substance their captors could find. It wasn't execution by sword or fire, it was humiliation turned into poison. And the more I dug, the more I found scattered references. 30 Years' War soldiers made villagers choke on excrement. Colonial courts forced women accused of theft to drink concoctions of urine. And every time I read another account, I kept asking myself, how could anyone think this was justice? The historian in me knows the answer. It was never about justice. It was about domination, about reducing a person to something less than human. That's why they didn't just kill them outright. They broke them first, in the most degrading way imaginable. You see it in Foucault's Discipline and Punish, that idea of punishment not just as pain, but as spectacle, as a way to show power. And there's something uniquely intimate about this one. Because what goes into your body becomes part of you, doesn't it? Making someone swallow filth was a way of corrupting them from the inside out. I can't read these accounts without feeling sick myself. In an Austrian court record from 1627, for example, a woman was forced to gulp down spoon after spoon of animal dung mixed with vinegar. Her crime, alleged blasphemy. The record says she survived. Survived. That word almost sounds cruel in this context. Surviving meant carrying that memory forever, the taste, the shame. And we don't talk about it much now, because it's not as dramatic as public burnings or guillotines. But if you ask me, this is worse. Sometimes I think of the 30 Years' War soldiers, mercenaries, often unpaid, roaming the countryside and punishing peasants. They didn't have to use rope or fire. They used whatever was at hand, turning punishment into mockery. And honestly, what strikes me isn't just the cruelty, it's the creativity. A kind of dark, twisted imagination. Who wakes up one day and decides the right way to punish someone is to make them eat their own excrement? That's not a question history can answer. There's also something haunting in how this kind of punishment slips through the cracks of official history. You can find detailed descriptions of executions, who was there, how long it took, and the words spoken at the scaffold. But ingestion punishments, they're usually buried in side notes, mentioned almost casually, as if too shameful to linger on. And maybe that's the point. The shame is the punishment. The silence afterward is part of it too. I'm not sure why this particular practice gets under my skin more than others. Maybe because eating and drinking are so ordinary, so human, so necessary, twisting that basic act into torture feels like a betrayal of something fundamental. It's like weaponizing survival itself. And I wonder if people in the 17th century could justify this. What does that say about us today? If this story made you pause, if it unsettled you even a little, good. History isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to wake us up. So don't let this be just another disturbing fact you scroll past. Like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment with your thoughts or your questions. I read them all, and if you want to keep exploring the forgotten, uncomfortable, and often suppressed sides of history, subscribe to the channel. Because the past isn't dead, it's still shaping the way we punish, the way we judge, and the way we decide who deserves dignity.